Ooh, she's cooking. Welcome back to another episode of My Legacy Garage. The yellow truck returns. It's got a bad rear end in it. It's locked up. It won't move. Hasn't been started in 6 months. Hasn't moved from this spot in 6 months. So we're going to see what we can do about getting it in the shop so we can fix it. Now we got all those C10s. You know, one of them has a good rear end in it that'll just bolt right in here. So that's the plan. Hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. It's been, I don't know, 2 weeks probably since we played musical vehicles and got this thing in here. And I'm finally ready to work on it now that I've, got my poop in a group and have all my stuff together to get in there and do it. I jacked it up. I guess it's time to get under there and start wrenching and see what breaks, what I got to torch off. We got to get this drag link loose, then we got to get these brake lines loose, and then we got to do something about the U-bolts, which frankly, we're just cutting them with a torch. And then we should be able to pop this rear end right out of here. The drive shaft's actually already unhooked because I did that when I was trying to figure out what was wrong with it. And I wanted to verify that it was in the rear end, not in the transmission, that there was an issue. Look at that, it came off. New plan, we're gonna take it off on this end over here. That's about what I expected. Whole bunch of rust in my face and nothing moved. All right. I'll tell you what, this new headlamp, it's pretty snazzy. You just gotta wave and the light comes on. I dig it. I think it might have actually moved a little. Let's try doing that again, but up here this time. Alright, maybe we just torch the head of this bolt off and pound it out of there. That might be an easier solution at this point to get this thing out. Yeah, we mean business now. Folks, the camera battery died in the midst of all of that, but we got that loose. Still kind of a little hot. We also have this U-bolt all cut off of here. So now we're going to pull that wheel and see what we can do about getting that U-bolt cut off. And of course we still have these brake lines to contend with, but it's getting late in the day, so I'm not sure how far we're making it today. Let's see what we can get done. Alright folks, we're going to get this here U-bolt cut off, and then all that's left is the emergency brake lines, which should be hopefully fairly simple. I guess that's gonna about do it for today. That's all the time I got. It's out of there. I mean, that's the important part. Next time, we'll go out here to Death Row and start ripping it out of the parts one. That'll be fun. All right, we'll see you this weekend. Here we are a few days later. Now it's time to fire the 55 up, back it out, get the tractor in here, get the old rear end out. Then we're gonna go back and cut the new rear end, out of the parts truck so we can get it up here, get it cleaned up, get it put in. Here we go. I suppose we should clean up this mess. Don't worry, it's not from this car. I'm sure the video where this occurred has already been out by now, but if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. It's pretty fun. It's a blue VW Rabbit that was not happy with life. The issue with this differential is the pinion is stuck tight. So you can spin these and they'll of course spin opposite directions because of this, but that pinion will not move at all. It is absolutely seized. So rather than rebuilding this rear end, since I have all those other trucks, I was like, well, one of those can be a donor and we'll sit this one back there and, you know, maybe one day we'll do something with it. But for now, she's just gonna go chill in the boneyard. There you have it. It's a new storage place. And this is the donor truck. Now we got to get this one out of here. So let's go get the torch and some tools and we'll get it done. Showtime. First, we got to move this thing over and up a little bit because it's kind of tucked in here in such a way it's going to be a pain to get this out. So while it can still roll, let's do that. And then we'll start cutting. That's much better. Much easier to get to now. Now, what are we going to have to do to get this thing off of here? Brake lines are already loose. We're going to have to pop that vent tube off. Got to unhook the drive shaft. Cut the U-bolts on both sides, of course. Likely going to be cutting that bolt out of there. And we got to get this spare tire carrier holder out of the way. That shouldn't be too bad. Let's get after it. Let's go ahead and break these loose. Ooh, she's cooking. Let's have a look-see inside of here and see what kind of condition it's in. Somebody remember that one went there. Hammer time. Do 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 do. Oh, hot dog, it looks pretty good actually. Plenty of oil. No rust. Yeah. Cool. Let's clean that up, reseal her, and head on down the road. Are you kidding me right now? That about figures. Wonder where that went. After that minor little technicality with the piece of metal, you know, razor blade going inside the differential, we got that dug out, and I cleaned up surfaces and everything, finished scraping it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up on the jack here, and then maybe we'll take the wheels off of it, wheel it over there towards the truck. Of course, local parts store doesn't have the parts I need. They don't have a cover gasket for a 12 bolt Chevy, and they don't have bushings, you know, for the trailing arm, pan hard bar, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, let's see if we can at least get it over there and make it look like we got something done today. I need to get some parts, so I'm gonna go in the house, order those, eat some dinner, call it a day, and when the parts come in, we'll put it together, take it for a ride. I'm looking forward to that. Well, folks, it's been a minute since we've been out to the shop here and worked on this truck. I don't really remember what the last thing I filmed was. I think it was cleaning the gasket off the differential. I don't remember. Anyway, I've done a few little things, painted a couple things. I'll take in here and show you what I did. Figured if I have it apart, I might as well clean it up, put a little paint on it. That way, if I decide I'm really going to do something with this truck, at least stuff that's put back together is already painted. So let's take a look at that, and then we're going to dig in and make some progress. Here you can see that I painted the trailing arm there where the rear end is going to be sitting on it. And I also painted up here where the panhard bar connects up. And that's kind of what has been holding me up, was that bushing. I had to order it from LMC, and it took weeks to get here. I also painted up the axle tubes a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and put this gasket on and get the rear diff cover on and get this all painted up and oil in it so it can go back in the truck. Well, let's get her done. First thing we're going to do is get some gasket maker on this thing, just so we get her sealed up nice. You don't need a lot, just enough to fill in any imperfections in the casing. It doesn't have to be this crazy mad amount of it. Just a real thin layer will do you. Once you've got that all straight, you can go ahead and put your gasket on. These old felt ones, pretty simplistic to put on as soon as you figure out what direction they go. And we're going to put a tab of goop on the actual cover too. Then it's just a matter of putting the cover on. Line up all your bolt holes, and let's run some bolts in it. Of course, this is a Chevy 12 bolt rear, so it's got 12 bolts in the cover. And you got to put all 12 of them in. Ain't no way around it. There we are, all done. Now we just got to clean it up a little bit. So those needle scalers I just used on here, I saw them on Watch West work, and I thought, well, we can try them out. They do a pretty good job, you know, getting the worst of it off. I'm going to blow it off here and take a look at it. It might take a wire wheel to this yet, just try to get a little bit better. At least try and get the green off of it maybe. But yeah, for what I'm doing, good enough. We're not going for pretty, we're just going for not rusting through a diff cover. Time to move it, I reckon. Behold, all painted, ready to go back in after I put some oil in it, which I don't want to do until the gasket maker has time to finish setting up. I know it says it's supposed to be good after that 90 minutes, but I'm going to let it set up overnight. And I'll go ahead and put oil in it in the morning. We'll slap her in there. Cool, let's do it. See you tomorrow. Well, it's the next day. Let's get it jammed in there, shall we? It's about 12:30 right now. had stuff to do this morning. We're getting ready to have some work done on the house. I had contractors here. It was a whole thing. But we finally got out here to the garage, and I want to get this thing in and make it drive today. That's the plan. Still needs a new clutch, but it'll move, and that's what I want. Let's get after it. Got her pretty well in position here. We just gotta get it in there. That was easy. Cool. Now we just gotta get these shock plates on the bottom, start our bolts, and then we'll sit the rear end right down on there. Oh, look what I did. That's a bummer. All right, so we gotta take this loose, twist it just enough to get this up above this exhaust. There we go. All right. Now we can put it together. There, see? Easy peasy. All right, let's continue. All right, folks, it's really hard to film and work under the truck at the same time. So I went ahead and I did a couple things. I'm gonna take you under there and show you where we're at and explain what I did wrong, because I messed up and it's gonna suck to fix, but I have a plan, which I'll also tell you about. Let's go take a look. As you can see here, I've hooked up the brakes, put that all back together. I bled them out. They bled okay-ish, I guess. It's only rear brakes anyway, those aren't important. I've got the U-bolts in and they're just snug, they're not run all the way tight. I've got the shock absorber plates mounted on the bottom, so that's good. I've done that to both sides. The one thing that isn't done yet is this panhard bar, and this is where I messed up. I didn't press this bushing into here before I put it in underneath of the truck, so I didn't realize they were press fit, so shame on me. I've got it in the freezer right now to try and shrink it up a little bit, and then we're going to try and hammer it in there with some WD-40 and just hope for the best. I believe that's the point we're at now, and then we can torque these U-bolts down good and hook up the e-brakes, put the tires on it, and I think that's it. Oh, nope, I lied. There's a breather hose up there. We got a zip tie up in here somewhere so that it's not hanging down. And we got to put the oil in the rear end. Then that's it. All right, let's get it done. Boy, I don't have high hopes for this going in there at all. Frozen or not. That definitely is not going in there. Wonder if there's a piece of the old bushing still in there, maybe. Doesn't look like it, but I mean, this thing isn't even close to fitting. Not even sorta. Well, I'm gonna put this back in the freezer so it stays good and cold, and maybe we can try cleaning that out with a drill bit or something. I'm not sure what else to do with it. Alright, we've got that reamed out decent. I don't know if it's enough, but certainly better than it was. At least we got the paint and carbon and stuff out of there that was in it. Let's re-lube it up here a little bit, and then we'll go get the bushing and we'll try this again. Alright, let's see if this works any better. Well, not really, but slightly better maybe. I need something solid to push that against. A piece of wood. Oh, this is annoying. This is annoying for sure. Ow! It started in there anyway. Not by much though. I don't think anything short of a hydraulic press is putting that in there. Let's take a break and think this over a little bit. Making progress. really close. It's actually pushing this inner piece when I hit it, pushing that inner piece out. Let me see if I've got a socket that'll fit just on that outside. Nice impact socket maybe, that might work. Looks like 24 mil is a winner. Close enough for me. All right, cool. Let's put that in and see what it looks like. Time for a quick update. Bushing's in, bolt's in. Had to use a ratchet strap to force everything right where I needed it to be. But it's in. So let's go ahead and run these nuts on. We'll tighten up our U-bolts, put our breather tube up, hook the drive shaft up, put some oil in it, hook the e-brakes up, and then maybe we'll take it for a ride. I dig it. Let's do it. All right, folks, quick status update. I've gotten the oil in the rear end. The drive shaft is hooked back up. I couldn't really get the camera in there so you could see what I was doing, but it's done, I promise. And the panhard bar, that's on. So, by golly, I think we're down to the wheels and tires. I option deleted the e-brakes because this truck's cables must have been stretched way out, or they were different from what was on the truck the rear end came out of, because they're too long and it doesn't work anyway. The one in the cab's froze up and I never use it, so they're gone. So yeah, let's put the tires on it, and I guess we'll try and drive it. Should we test it here on the stands and make sure everything works, or should we test it by driving it out of the shop? Yeah, let's put the tires on it and drive it. Yep, I hear you. Hot dog! I think that's done. Now I guess we just have to get it started. It's been a minute. It could be interesting. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. If you like this stuff, give us that big old thumbs up, hit the like button for us. We really appreciate it. It helps the channel out. Lets other people know, hey, this is a video worth watching. And also, if you really like it, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, not a penny. And the little bell beside it gives you notifications when we put new stuff out. It really helps us out and we appreciate it, and it doesn't cost anything for you. Thanks. Moment of truth. Let's see if she'll fire up. Guess we should probably take the brake fluid off before, it falls off. Oh girl, I know it's been a minute, hasn't it? Had a little fuel in the bowl still. Let's see if we're getting any fuel up there into that filter, huh? Surely or not. It has fuel in it, right? Pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's got fuel. Give her a little shot of brake cleaner. Well, it's fixed. It runs, it moves, it drives, it stops, does all the stuff it's supposed to do. Except for one thing. I discovered one minor little issue on that little test ride. Let me show you. The driver's door, the button has always been kind of in there, but it finished braking now because it doesn't latch anymore. So when I went around the turn down there, the door flew open, so that was kind of cool. That's going to do it for this episode of My Legacy Garage. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you maybe even learned a little something swapping this rear end out. I know I did. I've never done one before. And lo and behold, the yellow truck, she can move again. Still needs that clutch though. It slips a little bit if you really get on it. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next episode, but you never know how things go around here. At any rate, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.